How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks. We focus on one thing: always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about SOFI. They ended up coming out with a big time press release in regards to an acquisition. I'll talk about that further. We did have a lot of volatility in the markets. It had a strong pullback, and many people are asking questions like, what is going on? So I'm going to cover in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information and the recent institutional ownership. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for SOFI. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $10.26, being down 9.92%. On the low, it tested $10.19, and then on the high, testing $11.16. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 74.965 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 57.259 million shares. So we did have above average volume on the day, but we ended up seeing a pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is at 35.99. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And as you can see, this stock has been on a clear downtrend. It is in a bear market since it's trading below all of our major moving averages. We did end up getting a press release, and of course the reaction triggered an even further sell-off. So seeing how we close at $10.26, if we end up breaking through this level going through tomorrow, then I want to see us at least hold up $10. And if we break through $10, this is where it becomes a very attractive area, being in the $9 range for anyone that believes in the long-term prospects. Now, if you want to look for a reversal, if $10 can hold up, then of course you're going to want to see the stock go back to $11. This will have a strong resistance, but keep in mind they do have earnings that is coming up on March the 1st. So could it have that turnaround? It could potentially happen. But for the most part, how the chart is looking, it looks like it's going to be further downside from here, but it does provide an opportunity for that investor who's interested. So now let's get into the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for SOFI. As we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So for the recent filings we have for February the 22nd, we have Advanced Series Trust that purchased 35,100 shares. We also see for the 18th, we have Skyview Investment Advisors LLC that purchased 10,000 shares. We also do have a short position from Diva of 546 shares. And then for the 17th, we have V Wealth Advisors LLC that purchased 30,370 shares. We also have Castleview Partners LLC that purchased 3,162 shares. And we also have Oak Harbor Wealth Partners LLC that purchased 21,800 shares. And we have Goldman Sachs with a call position of 16,100 shares, and Rinky Investments that purchased 2 shares. And the others we already covered in previous videos. So now when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 41.62%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 12.75 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 10 million, updated 17 minutes ago, and then for the short ball fee rate for the latest, it is at 0.52, and as far as for the max, it was at 0.52, and on the minimum being at 0.42. And then when we take a a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 17th, it was at 36.71, and then for the close of the 18th, it's at 41.62. So one thing that remains the same, SOFI does have short squeeze potential. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for SOFI. So we see on the inflow is at 129, and then on the outflow it's at 127. So it's an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 0.76, on the medium it was 74.81, and then on the small it was 53.24. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 1.84, on the medium it was 78.51, and then on the small it was 46.33. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for today, February the 22nd, it was a negative outflow of 1.08 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, or funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 9.33%. So no surprises there due to the fact it did witness a good amount of selling pressure. We also did see a lot of volatility in the markets as well. But going into tomorrow, I want to make sure you guys are prepared, because if we have a change in market conditions, I can see SOFI turning around very quickly. I'll talk about it further in the final thoughts. Let's get into it right now. So for my final thoughts on SOFI, let's go over the recent press release that came out today. Why SOFI shares are sliding today. SOFI Technologies is trading lower Tuesday after the company announced it entered into a definitive merger agreement to acquire Technisys. Technisys operates a cloud-native digital multi-product core banking platform. The platform will help SOFI provide best-of-breed products as a one-stop shop financial services platform, as well as build on the company's pursuit to become the Amazon.com of web services of fintech. That is huge. Technisys has built an attractive, fast-growth business with a unique and critical strategic technology that all leading financial services companies will need in order to keep pace with digital innovation, said Anthony Noto, CEO of SOFI. The acquisition of Technisys is an essential building block in delivering on our member-centric digital one-stop shop experience for SOFI members and our partners through Galileo, our provider of fintech and cloud services. Technisys shareholders will receive approximately 84 million shares of SOFI worth approximately $1.1 billion. The transaction is expected to close by the second quarter. So for the next question, I know you're going to be asking, this sounds like really great news. Why did the stock pull back? Again, they ended up doing an acquisition. So this does lead into dilution. So of course the initial reaction is going to be a pullback. But if you are a long-term investor inside of this stock, this is great. This gives you the opportunity to get a great company at an even cheaper price. They do have earnings that is coming out on March the 1st, so we could see some more volatility in the price as well, and you're going to want to keep an eye on that. But overall, I do have long-term conviction when it comes to this play. I've been talking about this play for a long time on this channel, and this news, I'm just looking out to see if SOFI can pull back to the single digits, and I will load up on more shares. And when we take into consideration the price action, because I know there's a lot of traders that watch this channel, you want to see if it's going to break below the $10 level. If it breaks below $10, then it could probably get around $9.75, because we have to be aware of the fact of the market conditions that we are in. We are in a year where we're going to be having interest rate increases, and this is not great when it comes to growth stocks, especially the ones who are not profitable as of yet. And SOFI fitting within this category is why you're going to be seeing a lot of opportunities to get in with a solid position. So this is why I say there is no reason to FOMO whatsoever. And as far as for the price action to the upside, you need to see it get above $11. If we see some strength coming into the tech sector, I can see SOFI actually having a bit of a bump going into earnings. So add that to your homework work and see if that's going to be a play that you're going to be looking into. And when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential as well, and that is no shocker if you've been in this play for quite some time. And we see, as far as institutions are concerned, they do continue to load up on shares. Like I always say, SOFI is a great play, and if you want to have exposure to a great fintech company, then you might want to give this one a look. Do some more due diligence for yourself. And for the recent news, I feel like this is a great acquisition and will propel them further on that mission to make sure they could be the Amazon of fintech cloud services. Again, I just love this move that I saw from SOFI. You guys can probably tell from my expression. Now we want to see what earnings is going to be looking like, since that's going to be the next catalyst that is coming up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.